We have looked at other options. So that y'all are aware, as I told you once before in our retreat, we've looked at other options. There are other options of things to do other than be on metro system, but we can still be maintenance regardless of whether we're on the state system or if we did a standalone system. Just a standalone tower site here in Vergne, if we put our own infrastructure in to come off of metro system, you're talking about somewhere between 1.7 $2.3 million just for the tower site, and then you would need someone here to maintain that site for you all the time. So even
which Nashville Wireless could do.
Which Nashville Wireless could do.
They couldn't put it on one of their cellular phone towers.
We have, myself and Brian have looked a little bit at the possibility of Smyrna has a tower site that now has some rack space open, but you're still talking about several $100,000 of infrastructural equipment to go into that tower site.
But that'd be up front
right.
one time, and we wouldn't be paying.
Right. We wouldn't
on
be
a
paying
regular
this fee
basis
to
to
Metro
Metro.
to be on their system year
Right.
after year forever.
And we'd be tied to the new TVRS system, which is the one that I fought for when I worked at that other place and went back and testified to that THP's using it. It's a statewide network. That's what Smyrna's
going to be able to also talk state and national.
Yes.
So we are exploring other avenues to try at some point, but that is a huge capital project, regardless if we go on Smyrna's side or we put a site of our own in. It's just not, with all the other capital projects that need to be done on the front end, that's just not something that we've tried to put on the front burner for that.
In 2009, when the city was looking at it, to be honest with you, there really wasn't much of an option other than riding Metro's coattail at that time. But it's getting to the point in time now, it's not fiscally practical to continue doing that in the way it was set up initially.
The turning point is definitely coming to where it's more economical for the city to look at doing their own thing versus riding on somebody else's. At that time, we had no choice.
Those three line items are around $364,000.
Correct, right. And when you start looking at that number over a couple of years, we've paid for a tower site, and we've paid for infrastructure to go into Smyrna's site. So it's definitely time to start looking in that direction and doing something other than buying into somebody else's system and basically paying for their system.
Well, we'll need to look at that more.
Yes.
Well, that's down the road.
Yes, I mean, obviously, but if we're spending a whole bunch of money,
Yes.
that eventually we can.
And it will give us coverage in a lot more areas.
Correct.
By connecting to TVRS with a lot more agency.
Chief has also requested approximately 20 tasers, the cost of $32,000. And then, of course, which we've already talked about, the $23,500 for the Metro radio increase. That has already been included in that line item 345 for the police department. The Parks Department, they've had canine maintenance is already built in.
Oh, you already bumped it in.
Yeah, it's in.
796.
Yeah, we bumped it up $1,000.
Okay.
Minimum stuff, minimal things I didn't put in, just kind of major things. For the Parks and Rec Department, they have requested one employee with benefits and labor costs, wages of approximately $50,945. They have talked to everybody at the retreat about the tarps for the bleachers at the park. That's a cost of about $10,000. They talked about updating the tennis and basketball courts, which is about $5,000. And he had also requested a full-time employee at the senior center, approximately $46,332,000. We talked previously about the transfer from general fund to the Hurricane Greenway. I wanted to go ahead and put it on the sheet here so we have a picture of all of our major costs. With that being said, for the 16-17, the total increase over normal expenses that were major comes to a total of $2.4 million. Now, the things that we have already built into our budget and have already accounted for was the $23,500 for the Metro increase. We've already put the city administrator in there. We've put the vehicle for the city administrator in there. We've put approximately 2 police cars in there, and then we have the 100,000 for Hurricane Creek. That leaves us with $2 million of expenses that have been requested. And as you know, if you look at page 2, page 3, we have $1,011,963 to do $2 million worth of work with. So, again, we have a request of over $2 million, and we have $1,011,963,000 surplus. So at this time, the board needs to.
We got over twice as much wants as we got money.
Yeah, we either need to cut this by $1 million,
Now, I will say this, and I hesitate to say because we don't have anything to base it on. We have not included anything in the revenues for Walmart. So we can keep that in mind as well. The problem is we don't know how much we're going to get from sales tax from Walmart. So there may be a little bit more there, but we don't want to put too much in the budget.
We've already increased the sales tax, and
Right.
we have reached out to the State Department. The state will not give us detailed information as to who our businesses are and how much sales tax they are remitting to the state. Therefore, we don't know how much sales tax we're getting from those. They will not tell us the detail of that. I reached out to them to try to get them to, because we had seen, we're seeing a $1 million increase year over year. And I reached out to them and I said, can you at least tell me if these few businesses are part of, our increases? We've got the Nacarado place across the interstate. We've got several
Olympia.
warehouses. Yeah.
The motor coaches.
The
place,
motor coach place. We've got several warehouses, mail order warehouses, online type distribution centers. They kind of confirmed that there was, I gave them a list of new businesses I thought that might be contributing toward the increase, and they just kind of come back and said, well, yeah, 1 or 2 of those businesses might make up, several $100,000, but they will not tell me who it is, and it's very frustrating. They'll give me a list of all the businesses that pay sales tax, but they won't tell me how much they're paying.
It's against state law. Anything with business license information or returns, you cannot get that information. It's state law. That's why they won't give it. They'll give you names and addresses of the businesses.
Now we can kind of
They will not give you the returns.
We can kind of back into it a little bit with our with the tax department, because we do have access to what they pay as far as business tax. When they file their business tax return, of course it has their sales volume on there. But like with Nacarado, that's because of it being a vehicle, there's different tax laws.
Different
and
levels,
there's different tax levels, and so you can't really tell.
It's hard. They've got service and sales. So.
Given the square footage of the retail space they have that they're providing, and with density of population in this area, do they not generate demographics that would?
I think Kristen has given us some.
I already gave the
she's
figure.
already given us that.
What it was proposed. I mean, of course, it's not going to be 100%, but it's
I
what's
think whenever
projected
it's
based
fully
on.
operational for a full year, it's like $500,000. Was it $500,000, Kristen?
I don't recall.
It
I want to say it was probably in that range. Like
Well,
about
I
400.
remember when Kroger first came into Laverne, I watched real closely our sales tax increases for a few months after they came in, and there's, I could see about a $20,000 increase whenever they came in, so that's $240,000 a year, and you think of somewhere like Walmart is going to at least double that.
Yeah.
So,
And
we
that helped, when Kroger's come in, that really made a big difference.
I wish we could,
Yeah,
have a better handle on that.
We've really got 2 other areas that we can look at for funding. Of course, the sales tax is a big one. And of course, the other is our fund balance. We do have, a fairly healthy fund balance right now. The other item to look at is, right now in our budget, we've got scheduled another 2.5% decrease in property taxes. Well, with all of the needs that we have, and this is a question you guys have to answer, is it wise to continue cutting our property taxes? It really doesn't help the residents a whole lot. It really helps your commercial industrial areas the most. And, you know, we've already cut 1 year 2.5%, you know, $250,000. If we continue to do that, it's going to add up over time. So just keep that in mind. But that's a decision that the board has to make.
I don't think tonight is the night, you know, for us to start deciding what to do. I think, you know, the board needs to look at this list and communicate to me and Bruce which items that, you know, you feel really strong about, and then, of course, with the mayor's direction, we can certainly either, you know, come up with some middle of the road negotiations. What we have, I think what we did in previous years is we come back at a later date, and we could do this at the first of the meeting next week. It's whenever you want to do. After you've looked at these requests and done some homework and asked some questions, we can come back and go back through this, and we can talk about each one, and, you know, the board can say, well, is that really needed or not needed, or.
I would suggest we don't do it next week. I know Melissa will not be here.
Okay, we can do it the
Maybe at
3rd.
the session on the 19th of April. You know, that'll certainly give everybody, you know, a week and a half, almost 2 weeks to look at these items, talk to the department heads, you know, about these requests, and you know, come back with your ideas of what we need to do.
Would I be out of line if I just talked as a citizen, ask a question as a citizen?
That's the board's decision, not mine.
My question would be, what does 1 cent?
Property tax.
About $65,000,
For 1 cent?
probably about $65,000.
2.5 was
I might
right
be
at
off a
250.
little bit.
2.5% was
It's about
250.
$100,000 a penny.
Yeah, it's about
Let's make
80.
Rutherford County give us back about 3 or 4 cents of what we're paying there. That ought to be worth a whole lot for us.
They're
The county went up.
they're increasing theirs.
Yeah, I
So the
know.
county went
They
up.
also
%.
increased appraisals too.
Well, no, not appraisal,
Yes,
this
they
year was
did.
They did last year.
They
No,
were
last
mine.
year, last
Yes,
year.
sir, they did.
the last year, not
Trust
this
me.
year.
Yes. You can tell if you look at the tax department, you can tell what years we've had the reappraisals.
It's 2014,
On page
the last time we
14,
did the reappraisal. Yeah.
on page 14, you can see on the years that we have reappraisals, we do get billed from the county, and you can see what the reappraisal cost us, about $155,000, because
My house payment went up $170. Now, what that does is when they increase the value of my home, when the property assessor's office does that, then my insurance goes up
So does your taxes.
on my escrow that I pay monthly. So do my county taxes. In between the two of them, it's $170 a month or more.
Yeah, my
More a
insurance,
month this
my
year than it
insurance
was last year.
doubled. It went from $500 to $1,000 to $500, and I called my insurance agent and asked them, what's the problem? They said, because so many people in this area had roofs. I said, what about the ISO? He said that doesn't change, they particularly in an area. And I said the increase was because other people got roofs and I didn't get no roofs. So it's profit and loss, do it, your insurance goes up on your house. Mine done the same thing.
Some insurers do not utilize ISO.
But mine went from 500 in 2 years to 1,500. Time I pay my interest and my upkeep and my taxes and all, that's eating my equity up.
that is all I have for tonight. Anybody have any other comments, suggestions, requests?
I think it's been real constructive. What's another thing that's really hurting us is we're paying $1,762,000 like for interest and stuff, hopefully that'll go each year, it goes on, that $45,000 deficit would go down a little bit, that's gonna help us. And then Walmart, hopefully that'll help us a little bit, but, you know, the money that we done already got from Walmart, you know, it was already spent, so, you know, sales tax is about all we got to look for next, you know, this year, but they don't open to June or July.
August.
You know, that'll fall into pretty close to this year, you know.
It takes us, we don't get, you know, the third month after they open is when we'll see the first.
Yeah.
Sales
If they don't open till August, we won't see any revenues from that till October.
Nah, don't want.
Yeah,
And
and
that won't be
quarter
a full
four
month,
is when they
so-
make most of their money.
So we probably don't need to bank on anything from Walmart till
I think we could
next year.
some, but I don't know how much we would.
But now the police will, because when Walmart opened the door, y'all might figure on three more policemen, it's gonna tie up. You know,
Exactly right.
and if you
Remember
figure
I
up
said
three,
that during my presentation.
3 policemen and 3 cars, that's gonna eat up a lot of that sales tax, so Walmart's gonna be a push.
That's gonna almost be the majority of a zone in and of itself there, because you're gonna have to have somebody close by.
That's 3, just one officer pushing it.
And that was based just only on the cost to that specific building that had nothing to do with anything else surrounding it that's out there, all the ancillary stuff, just that one building.
When they announced Whirlpool was opening back up with 600 jobs, it was over in Davidson County. Davidson County paid all the fees, but everybody's getting the benefit of the 600 jobs. The tax breaks they gave, the Whirlpool place opened up down there in Metro, but, you know, Vergne is gonna benefit because of the jobs, you know.
Next Thursday, we will have another budget session. We will be going over all the other departments, all the other funds such as State Street Aid, drug fund, senior citizens. We'll be going over the special revenue accounts, grant fund, police impact, stormwater, capital project streets, capital project parks, and then we'll go over water sewer. I have all of the budget reports for all the departments except for water and sewer. We still have to work on the capital and operating increases for that. So I want to hand these out to you so you at least get to look at these, and then I can email the water and sewer fund probably maybe Tuesday, might be Wednesday morning of next week.
Bruce, you gonna hold on to that?
Be out of the
You can,
country.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can take it with you and read it.
I will not be paying for internet service out of the country, sorry.
No, you can print it off and take it with you. No, just kidding. But I'll email that part to you. But that's all I have.
Anybody have anything else? I call this workshop adjourned.